Good evening and welcome to another exciting episode of the Men's Lounge. It's been quite a lovely weekend for some of us, and I'm sure it's about the same for most of you out there watching us. And I'm glad to be here meeting you this evening. Last week we had a discussion on custody. You know should there be something like a divorce or should there be any issue? How you can have custody of the kids, the things involved, the things that are considered. I mean, I actually learned that even the kids have a say sometimes when you might almost win, but when the child says, nah, I don't want to go to this person, it probably could go against you. Anyway, we are here this evening. We are going to do justice to another topic. Before I proceed, let me invite all of you to be part of our discussion by joining us on all our social media platforms at ATV Ghana on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook at ETV Ghana. You can be part of it. I'm going to go on my very first break. When I'm back, I'll tell you who and who are here with me, and I'll tell you what we'll be talking about. Please stay with us. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you can see I'm smiling already. It's just because I'm here with the two favorite people I've always had on my show. Quite controversial. I hope we won't need the fire service to quench their fire today. So today we are discussing. Maybe I should just introduce them first, and then we can move on, isn't it? Yeah, I'm sure you agree with me. So I'm here with Kelly Daniels. You already know Kelly Daniels, and then I'm here with also Mr. Aisen. Josiah, how are you, man?
I'm alright.
I'm
brother.
good.
Alex,
I'm
good
good.
to see you.
You too, man.
Good to, and you
Right,
from
right,
afar.
right. Yeah.
So today we'll be discussing the issue of age,
Right.
whether age really matters, you know, in a relationship, whether we should be, whether age is blind when it comes to matters of the heart and all that. That's what we'll be talking about. But before we proceed, how's your weekend been?
It's been great. A lot of work, and
A lot of
just-
money.
Not
I want
yet.
to hear the money part.
Not yet. The money will come,
When?
but I need to do the work first. Yeah.
It's okay. You work. When the money comes, call me.
Amen.
But it was good.
It was
Good weekend.
Nice.
Kelly,
I-
the weekend.
I had a lot of spillovers. I'm still trying to sort out. So I'm dealing with it. I should be done by before 11ish today. So yeah.
There's so more work to do.
But it's been good. It's been
Been good.
good. There's nothing more fulfilling for a man than having to be busy doing something that he's happy doing.
Yeah.
It's not the cash; it's the fulfillment.
Yeah. The
And
fact
then
that you love
of
what
course
you
the
do,
cash
yeah.
naturally flows.
Nice one.
Right.
But what happened to the guy? I mean, that guy who, I mean, for his own reason, I don't know what he went to do in the Lions. Was it a den he entered, or where did he go?
Yeah, it was a zoo.
A zoo.
Yeah, Achimota Zoo.
Achimota Zoo.
Yeah.
And then did he see a cat or a mouse, or he actually did see the lion?
I think lion is a cat, right?
I don't
So-
know what his motivation was,
Yeah.
really. He was so self-confident. And
And he's still very confident.
Yeah.
We should ask him.
well, he's still very confident.
Yeah, I guess that's what I want to know. That he's still very confident. But I mean, see, if you have seen even the hen hatch, you know, those little ones, the chicken, and you see them, you know, following their mother around, and you try picking one, you see the reaction that little hen gives you,
Excuse me.
and then you actually had the courage to go for a whole cup in the presence of the lion and the lioness, if I'm correct.
Well, did he go
Really?
for the Cubs? We don't. I don't.
Well, that's the
what we've
story
been
I-
told,
I-
right?
I've
That's
seen.
what we've been told. And I think, again, probably we need to look at the family or something. It has something to do with faith. Somebody gingered them up.
Somebody
to
somebody
think that,
encouraged.
you know,
Yeah.
Oh,
did
well,
it,
no,
so
hold
I
on.
can
So
do it.
somebody actually told you that
I'm
you
sure.
can go into that place and pick a cup, and you
But
believe you
heard
could do it.
It's in the Bible, right? Daniel's story in the Bible.
Oh,
He
Joe, which
spoke to
Bible
lions.
again for this
He was
one?
possibly
Lions.
exploring. You never know. Well, unfortunately, he didn't live to share the story, so we can only assume.
I'm sure
Options
somebody
of
told
what
him
made
that if
him
you
do
believe
I,
in
I,
faith,
I
you can make it.
personally am very disappointed. Look,
In him.
whatever you may have smoked or drank, even when you see the lion, the thing should vamos, and you still went ahead.
Yeah.
I need that kind of courage. I really need
Chase
that
some
kind
money,
of-
eh?
just to get some to make some money. I wouldn't need that to go jumping over fences into some dents. Ow! Anyway, guys,
Right.
I hope and pray that he had good intentions, and for that, God Almighty will still, you know, get him to probably come take off the lions in heaven.
Amen
Oh.
to
Yeah.
that. Amen to
I
that.
hope that should be the case.
All the best to him.
Anyway, guys, Kelly and Josiah. So today we are doing the issue of age. Okay, so basically, there've always been people who argue for and against the gap, in marriage or relationship, or I mean, anyhow you see it, but anything that had to do with the heart, the matters of the heart. Age, does it really matter, or it doesn't matter? But let's just go through. What happens when it comes to age in a relationship? What happens, or marriage? How does it apply?
You wanna go?
Age, age. What happens? I knew this was gonna be
In
tricky.
fact, when you find something nice that you like, should you ask how old are you?
No, see, thing is, you discover that a certain level of interest in your heart is gravitating towards someone.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to explore the possibilities of having the best that can spring up from your affiliation. Age shouldn't be the first thing that occurs to you. I mean, there's a lady I met this evening called Ma, and straight up, from face value, I appreciated what I saw, and I didn't ask what her age was. I asked her name, I asked what she does, and basically, I think that's what springs up a healthy relationship. Who are you? What do you do? What are your values? Age might just come later if it ever. Of course, it eventually will, but it's not one of the first 20 things to think
want to
about.
look at, okay.
Yes, and that's why I say it's not as important as it sounds.
So straight to the point. Would you say age matters or not?
It has an effect.
See, semantics again.
Well on, man.
No, it has an effect. My opinion, it has an effect.
On what?
No,
doesn't
Josiah,
doesn't
Josiah, wait, I haven't
100%
called you.
Do you ever
Kelly.
let me finish
Kelly.
talking when I have a point?
Kelly, I am the driver of this
Yeah,
bus.
yeah. But
And
so tell me when it's my time.
Josiah, I will let you get off the bus when you have to.
Yeah.
So Kelly,
Thanks.
I'm asking you straight to the point. Do you say age matters or not?
It has an effect.
And so it matters.
Yes, it does matter. But it doesn't mean that you're going to debunk a relationship because of age.
So would you say when a relationship starts, age should be blind?
Age should be blind, yes. See, exposure,
And blind forever?
the word maturity covers for what age might be. When maturity sets in, it almost literally, it doesn't matter what the age is. As long as the two people are adults.
And they understand each
The
other.
law by every means says, are we adults? If we are yes, and we understand what it makes for us to work, we are good to go.
Josiah,
Clearly,
the concept of age around relationships,
Right.
what's your take on it?
I think age matters, right? It's a huge thing to kind
It
of.
matters.
It matters.
Kelly.
Because,
It's just a question.
let's say you were 20 and then you meet somebody that's 60. Just because you love the person, you have to think of so many factors. A 20-year-old, what you doing with a 60-year-old, first of all? They probably about to just exit this life. They are going to get sick. At the age of 20, you want all that responsibility being put on your head because you love somebody, right? And then when you're 60, you going out with a 20-year-old. She might behave in a certain manner that is not accustomed to the way you behave. And there, you want to discipline her. You want to do this. But you didn't factor the fact that she was at this particular age, right?
Yeah.
So let's just not sugarcoat things. Age is important and it matters in relationships. Now, what you do with it or how you then kind of judge the person, because I mean you touched about on maturity. To be honest, age has got nothing to do with maturity.
Bam.
Hold
Right?
on, Kelly.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
I haven't invited
What
you
he
yet.
just he's looking at me.
No.
Right.
Josiah,
Yeah.
So
hold
what-
on. Kelly, I haven't invited you yet.
Right.
So Josiah, speak to me.
Right.
Don't talk to Kelly.
Okay. So age has
Yeah, but
nothing
we
to
are
do with
panelists.
maturity, right?
Hold on.
So in this case, we should sit down and say certain age groups should not be dating certain age groups, whether you like it or not. You can
And I'm
cry
sure
until
Kelly
the cow
will
comes
not
home.
agree to this one.
See, I have found people in their 20s have all the maturity that is demanded of a 40 to 50-year-old. It depends on the exposure of the person involved. Listen, I would certainly not allow my 20-something-year-old niece marry my age
Why?
Because
spoke about
no,
maturity.
I
What
said
if your
under
niece is
that's
matured
what that's
enough?
what I'm saying. But you didn't let me finish either.
Oh, yeah, finish
Under
now.
normal circumstances, I'm gonna check it. How much do I know my niece? What have I seen her tackle over time? And dealing with my age, a man my age, I need to check what has he passed through too, because he might not be as old as the numerical disposition expresses. He might just be someone in his 40s, but not having the kind of exposure you might assume a 40-something-year-old should have. So, my niece, I don't know this man very well. Can you do your research? I know you. I know what you can tackle. But I need to know who is involved. And that's where counseling is important. Counseling doesn't tell you who to marry. Counseling opens your eyes to what you would deal with based on your choice.
Okay.
So as a consultant that I am in relationships and marriage, I would say to you, based on this and that, this is what is good for you. Now, based on you and him, or you and her, depending on, the genders involved, what's the level of maturity? How do you respond to certain questions I ask you at the point of counseling? And by the answers you give me, I know if you're good for him or not. However, they may not be good for themselves at that time on that day. But working on themselves a little bit more, with the kind of exposure or tutelage they might go through, they just might be good to go. I'm not saying it's a six and a dozen situation. I am saying that let's leave opportunities for weighing options of maturity. And if he says maturity has nothing to do with age, which I agree about, let's stick to maturity. Let's put the age aside. As long as they are legally ready to go, as long as the law says it's okay that they are above 18, what is the measure of their exposure? Some in their 40s and 50s behave as if they are teenagers. I know a 40-something-year or 46 now, actually, who I keep wondering is either his birth certificate was wrong or something wrong fundamentally with how he grew up.
Okay.
And he has some gray hair at some part of his face. So I'm like, guy, how did you get here? That's what bothers me. That's not a person who we should be saying is good to get married. That's a person who needs a lot of maturity classes to go through. And that's why I'm saying that age doesn't matter, but there's a factor to be considered. Is maturity served on the table on both ends? If yes, let's go.
Josiah, before you say anything, should age go blind? Should the issue of age be blind?
No,
In
not
any
at all.
relationship?
Not at all. It shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
You still think it
Yeah.
has to be right
Because
from the
what
onset?
you're doing is you underplaying the realities of things, right? Because again, talk about maturity all you want, but age goes with health, ambition, all of those other things, right? So again, an older person, if you're 10 years older than person, or 5 years, 10 years older than person, yes, give or take. But when we're talking about 20, 30, 40 years, come on now. We need to just kind of bring sense to the table than thinking, love, they say love is blind, but come on now.
This one isn't blind, eh?
It's not blind. It's just reality here. Because then imagine you might even have kids.
Yeah.
They might be older than this person that you're dating. So how do you expect your kids to then respect this person that you're with?
But this was happening in the past with Chiefs and all that. So
Right, and then it led to a point where Chiefs
Bam,
disowned
thank
their
you.
No, hold up. It led to a point where Chiefs were disowning their family because you were not respecting my wife. Because you didn't think about the fact that you bringing a kid into my home, then now it's going to tell me what to do. I'm older than the person. I'm supposed to call the person mom and give respect to this person because you married the kid. Come on now.
So that because you think it gets to a point where you're probably gonna have some disrespect. But you see, in the past, this was normal. Where there are even some religions that used to, I'd say, encourage, younger people marrying very older folks. People
Yeah,
get betrothed to each other. To
Older people.
older
Right.
people and all that.
Right. But then when you ask those girls, were they happy? They didn't have a choice.
Did they
They were
tell
not
you?
happy.
Did they tell
I
you?
mean, clearly they wouldn't be happy.
Josiah, okay, fine. Age gap. What's the most appropriate?
I think 15 years max.
15
fine.
years. By 15 years, the person not old already.
Isn't that a case
I mean,
to deal with on its
15
own?
years max.
15 years,
max.
that's literally huge.
That's very big.
But you just said it doesn't matter.
Did
So
you
when
hear
you
what-
jumping
did
up
you-
and then
did you
just
hear
talking
what
about
the compare
is
said? He said that's very big.
yeah.
It means that it doesn't matter, but you are now saying it matters, but X, Y, Z.
No, I said the max you can really allow will be
what-
15.
that is
so
vast.
So what's minimum?
Minimum for me will be probably about 10.
10.
Yeah,
10 to 15.
yeah, 10 to 15.
You won't do same age.
No, I wouldn't date the same person the same age as me.
Why?
Because again, you talked about maturity or experiences and everything else, right? Sometimes it depends on where you are mentally.
Okay.
Really, it depends on where you are mentally. And sometimes you just find yourself in a space where you click more with people probably a little bit younger, right? You want different things in life, and you find that nowadays men, when we get to a middle-age crisis, as they call it, right? We like to go to clubs, dress a certain way, and all of those other things. Maybe a person your age will probably not vibe in that situation. So then what do? Right? See, so you just kind of gravitate towards what catches your mood at that moment.
So what works better? Kelly, I'll come to you. What works better? A man being older than a woman being older than a man. Which one works better?
See, you putting me in a situation, but I think
No,
a
then,
man,
see,
a
first
man
of
being
all-
older. I think a man being older than the woman works better.
Works better.
Yeah,
Why?
a man being older than the woman, as long as you have her interest at heart.
That's the only thing I agree
works
with you
better.
about. That's the only you just said
Well, that's
one
fine.
thing that makes
That's
sense. to me.
fine. That's cool. But the point is, the reason why that works better, again, is because you would ensure that a lot of the mistakes that you've made, right? You ensure that you coach her in the right way, right? Whereas maybe
Coach her. Try to change her.
No, not change.
Okay, so
not
that's
change.
different. Okay.
That's totally different. Because you see, the thing is, as men, once we get older, we have to self-reflect, and then you analyze the way in which you were dating certain women, the behavior that you went through, and all of those other things, right? And then when you're dating somebody now, you want the best out of them or best for them, so you move them in the right way. So you're trying to tell them, the guy the same age as you, everything that he's telling you, we used to tell girls the same age, so it's not really going to take you anywhere, right? So you plan for that person. But an older woman dating a younger boy, it's almost like you're going to babysit.
Younger man,
But
don't call him a boy.
women these days are not looking for fathers to marry.
That's is it my turn by the way?
They're looking for husbands, and so you are not the one to come and be telling them let's do this. No,
No, but if you're
it's
looking
not like
for
that
a husband,
anymore.
you're
A
looking for a
woman-
husband, you want a matured husband that
A
understands
woman
life, right?
is looking for a man she can look up to, regardless of how much she earns.
Who told you that? What?
Oh, come on. Every level-headed woman, no matter how much she makes or brings to the table, appreciates an authority she looks up to.
Wow.
Where
Really?
authority
Kelly,
means...
really?
Wait. Where authority doesn't necessarily mean control me. But most women...
But you said every, now we almost.
I'm editing what I'm saying because I know who you are and what you can say. But what I'm saying is, every average woman, and when I say average, I don't mean low-minded person. Most women would want a man in their lives, not a boy. But they can actually have a boy in their lives who really acts as a man. Not really acts, but lives as a man. That's why a woman who is 40 doesn't mind settling for a man who is 35, who thinks 55. It makes no difference to the woman, especially when the physique doesn't show it. Every woman wants to flaunt a man she respects.
Yeah.
Every woman wants to flaunt a man that gives her that sense of, I've got a man over me.
But
Not
women-
in my life, but
but
over me.
men also do the same thing.
Most women want a man over them, not in
Really?
their lives. Yes.
What women are you talking
Over
to?
them.
They want men
What
over
planet are
them?
you from? Over doesn't
They want
necessarily
men
mean
over them?
control.
No, no,
Over means I have someone to look up to. I have a man in my life who society would respect me for.
So basically, if you don't have that man in your life, you as a woman, you're not respected.
No, you respect. No. I mean, we're talking
he's-
about
he's talking
marriage.
about
We're
what
talking
a
about
woman
a
will
situation of
probably even
relationship.
prefer.
Regardless of a man in a woman's life, a woman should understand who she
Okay,
is
but you-
and what standards she upholds.
Right.
But I'm saying
then if
in a
an older
relationship,
woman, in our society right now, if an older woman came out with a younger man, how does society react to that?
Forget society. I'm talking
But
about
you
how
just-
she
But,
feels
I mean,
about
you're,
herself.
You're not in a relationship for the
For
society.
society,
But you-
exactly.
but then everything that you said, then that's backwards because
I'm
you
saying
said where
she
woman is
wants
looking
society to
Exactly.
see her
So-
in a certain
exactly.
way.
So
It's
then
not for
in this-
society, but it's for her.
If I want you to see me in a certain way, that means that what I'm doing, I'm looking validation, right?
From me.
From you, yeah, because
Well,
I
to
want
some
you to see
extent,
exactly. See, so that means that
No
if
spouse is meant to be locked up in the house. There has to be a social life somehow.
no, but I'm with you because I'm with you. It's got nothing to do with society.
It has everything to do with the
Listen.
world.
Okay. All right. Look, at this point, my WhatsApp lines are open. Please send in what your thoughts are, what your comments are on this. We want to know the age gap. It doesn't really matter. I mean, should the age gap be should it be blind? Should age be blind when it comes to relationship? The number is 02022222054. I repeat 02022222054. Send in your WhatsApp messages. I'll read. I'll ask the questions so you can have answers from Josiah and Kelly. Now, let me ask you this question now. What are some of the downsides? Of course, you are saying that the age matters. And so I need you to tell me why. I want to know the disadvantages, the downsides, which makes you think because of that, the age matters.
Okay, so the downsides, so many ways, where you lack patience, you kind of forgo the fact that you're dating somebody that is much younger than you.
Can't you make
right?
a conscious effort not to forget?
But that's the thing. You sometimes you catch yourself,
Okay.
right? See, so again, you just assumed because it's almost like because we're in the same timeline or space of time and communicating, so you should think like me or know what it is that I'm thinking. But in reality, my experience and my exposure ensures that I know things more than you do, right? So you end up being in a position where you almost like a teacher to the person. You're always trying to correct the person. Don't do this, do that. If you do, so it depends on also the person how they feel, right? And then they might bring some suggestions to the table. Then you look at them like, oh, but you're a kid. What do you know? Right? See, so that can be that negative effect. So it's almost like you're dating somebody that you're older than. So basically, you are the dominant factor here.
Are you
I'm
talking
older
from a
than you.
man's perspective or from either perspective?
Both.
I see.
It's both. Because if you're a woman and you're dating a younger guy,
Yeah.
you're not bowing down to him because you were a woman. Because then if you do that, you really want to have the argument. So because the older woman should respect the younger guy because what? She's a woman. Because as a man, if I'm older than a woman and I'm not meant to respect her because I'm older than her, why is the opposite different?
Well, Kelly, before you speak, let me just cool this down a bit. I'm going to go on this break. Please stay with us. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back if you're just joining us. I'm still here with Josiah and Kelly, and we are talking about the age gap, the age differences in relationship. It doesn't really matter. You know, what are some of the downsides and the upsides of it. Now, this is coming from Kat. Kat says, I think age matters because you can't go for a lady in her late 60 and expect her to give birth for you just because you love her. The fact that you love her doesn't mean you should just go ahead, even when there are things that will go against you later. This is coming from Kat. Now, this is also coming from another person. Kindly add your name next time. Well, age shouldn't be a problem except in a situation where either the man or the lady is being influenced by third-party persons. By third party, I mean the family, friends, etc. It must be something from the heart. The reason an old man with young thought is better than a young man with an old archaic thought. Well, we are back. Kelly,
Yes.
you have the floor.
And your question is?
So, so I had asked. I think we were discussing the issue of. Let me just go back. So, I was trying to look at. Josiah is for the age issue and saying that there's an issue to look at, and so I asked him, what are the disadvantages that makes him want to say that the age is an issue? You are saying the age doesn't really matter. What are some of the upsides and the downsides of it?
I can marry someone older than me
You can,
if I needed to.
if you needed to.
Yes.
That's very suggestive.
If love
Uh-huh.
finds us and there's a necessity to be together and maturity is mutually served, I would almost not look at age. I would actually not look at age because maturity is served and maturity is pregnant of respect, of dignity, of honor, of regard, of selflessness. We are good. So, what are the disadvantages of considering?
You are saying that
No, I'm
it's
coming.
okay.
No,
So
no,
what
I'm
are the
saying,
advantages?
what
What's
are
the
the
benefits in that?
disadvantages of insisting that age should be a factor? You lose the one your heart really goes out for,
It's not answering the question.
and then you say, no, what's the question?
I want to know,
Yes.
since you are saying that age doesn't really matter,
Yes.
what are the advantages in there then? I mean,
Bingo.
should you be at the same age or should the woman be older? What are the advantages in there?
You have nothing to lose to start with. You have nothing to lose as long as maturity is served. Now, what are the further advantages? If I settle for a woman who is older, and of course, I would settle for a woman who is older, who is not conspicuously older, because looks change the whole equation.
Before you even proceed with that,
Right.
To want to put some light on that conspicuous.
Right.
What is your ideal age gap?
I don't have an age gap.
So then, where's the conspicuous
Just
matter?
No. I'm talking about looks. I mean, I can actually marry someone younger than I am who looks older than me. You see what I mean?
Okay.
So based on that, I'm saying that looks matter to me. I'm not saying age matters to me. So I can marry a lady who is younger than me, but if she's looking older than me, I'm not saying old because of age. I'm talking about the beauty of the package
Okay.
of
I
the
think
content
I get your
that
point.
you are.
Okay.
Yes. So I can marry someone who is older than me as long as we our looks, I mean, suit us based on our choice. And one thing that will be an advantage to that is that as much as she's older, I keep her younger, and she keeps me on my toes, literally, to manifest much more of who I am that she appreciates. So she never gets old, and I'm keep upping my game, and I keep upping my game to be a better man, a more forthright man, a man who delivers. So it's a win-win thing.
So you're looking
Let,
for a
let,
mother.
let me ask you this question.
Yes.
So in the event where you're married to an older woman, there is that tendency of she's been there before, and so she would like to correct you. Men have ego. How does that come to play?
Fantastic question. How mature am I to understand the beauty of correction and criticism? A man who does not understand that correction
Kelly, let's
is
talk
a
reality.
beautiful thing. Oh,
Kelly, let's talk reality.
Are you saying no man should be
I-
corrected
no,
by
I-
his wife?
but that's
have
not
it.
what he said,
Exactly,
though.
that's my reality. A man who cannot appreciate his wife for correcting him. What is the method of correction? That's the factor on ground. How is she correcting him? Is she spitefully correcting him, or she's correcting him in meekness? Bam! That's what we're talking about. So she can be correcting you, and you can be responding to the correction without really knowing that you're being corrected. If a wise woman wants to put you in a point of correction for all the right reasons, she will, and you won't feel bad about it. So it talks about the maturity of the people involved. Exactly the same way, a woman who is older than me, who I'm dating or married to, might feel uncomfortable. Why is he correcting me all the time? Does he think I'm his mate? But in a situation where maturity is parallel, we understand certain things. She understands that my correction of her is a blessing. But how do I correct her? What kind of words do I use? Under what circumstances do I correct her? Who is around there when I'm trying to correct her? Those are the factors that matter.
Age gap. The tendency to lead to failure. What would you say is the percentage?
Oh, for me, wow, I'll probably say about 78%.
Will lead to failure if the age gap is too big.
Too big.
Really? Any research?
Nah, but it's just from just thinking about it. Because if you think about the point at which the woman would come into her own self, she will probably want to discover the world the way she sees it, and due to societal reasons, she might not be able to. If we remove all those factors, I guarantee you probably be 78%.
My friend,
Kelly.
the older you are, if you are, you have sense. The older you become, the wiser you become, and the calmer you are, male or female. If you are female and you marry a younger chap, the older you become, the wiser you're expected to be in terms of being calmer. So the guy who you marry is actually supposed to be at more peace.
Really?
Now, if you're an older man and you marry a younger girl, you daddy her instantly.
But you just said age doesn't matter. So
I'm trying to say that it's an advantage for the girl who happens to marry someone who is older than her.
age doesn't matter. So where's the advantage coming?
Maturity.
No, you're using. Listen,
You're
using
more mature
words.
by experience and
Kelly,
exposure.
No. You're using words that speak to.
Do you think I'm using words, moderator?
You
I
just
am
said
listening to
matter.
you.
I am
No, you
giving
said
my
matter and
opinion.
advantage. So if there's an advantage
why
to
is
something,
my
that
opinion
means
a problem to you?
it's a problem because
No,
because
it's not your
what you
prayer
do-
point.
No,
Okay,
no.
okay.
What
Listen,
you're doing is
no,
you're using semantics to jot around the question.
Listen. My
Look,
matter. The
Kelly,
truth is,
Kelly,
yes.
what
yes.
will happen if you decide to overlook age?
I've just overlooked age with everything I've said.
So you will say nothing will happen.
Look.
Josiah, if you decide to overlook age, what will happen?
You headed for disaster
Hey.
What disadvantages in there will lead to that disaster?
because you would not think about the person's future, things that they want to do. What's the likelihood that something might happen that they want to change, or even yourself?
Look.
What if?
Look,
a
I'm putting
health
myself
issue-
in the same
A
position.
purpose-
If a health
Driven
issue,
person.
a health issue, and all of those other things.
Do you
have to
know?
think
Do you
about it.
know? Do you know
have
how
to
many
think
young
about
people
it.
have health issues that older people don't
But
have?
the likelihood of a younger person having a health issue over an
So-
older
so-
person is very small,
Okay.
unless you
Depending
live
on the,
healthy
how
lifestyles,
they've
right?
lived their lives.
So when we talk
I
about
won't- I
lifestyles,
won't
then it's
choose
different.
someone who is
But
ma-
listen,
who doesn't
I think-
have
so you
respect
trying to
for
tell
health.
me? You see,
And that has
so
nothing
you
to do
bring
with
all other
age.
factors in.
Oh.
You bring in all other factors.
See,
We're just
I'm
talking about
your
age
friend.
on
I
the
mean you
table.
well. Listen
and I
to
do
me.
too.
No,
Brother, I
no,
love
listen
you.
to me.
But listen, the point is, if you at your age right now decide to go
Yes.
and date some 25-year-old,
Yes.
right? Don't come crying when she behaves a certain way.
What way?
As in, she wants to go out. She wants to
For
hang out
what?
with a friend. She wants. What do you mean for
What does she want that I can't deliver? Knowing her, you know, before marriage, except you're not talking about marriage here.
I'm talking
Before,
about- yeah, it's
yeah,
marriage. Yeah,
before
marriage,
marriage
yeah.
sets in here, I make up my mind on who I'm marrying. I'm checking the dude. I mean the
Woman you wanna
the
be- yeah.
good, bad, and the ugly side of her. I mean, people
in 10
change
years, if she
in
wants to
marriage.
go
I know,
clubbing and you don't
but
wanna
I'm
go
meant.
clubbing, then
If
what?
I'm older, I'm meant to see the worst. Must I go to the club with her if she wants to go to
But
the
if
club?
she wants to go by herself, you're
She-
cool with that.
If I was cool in courtship, I should be cool in marriage.
So if you're cool with all of that, anything that she wants to do, then that's fine, right?
As long as I have chosen someone who I believe honors, values, and regards me
But, so that means you have
in
to factor,
maturity.
So you have to factor the possibility
That's why
of
I
her
have to
growth
check.
will change, right?
I have checked the worst of her and I'm comfortable with it.
So
So
that
whatever
age
she
matters.
turns out to
No, that
be,
means
it's
age
my
matters.
fate. Age matters same.
It does matter
Oh.
because you said you
Josiah
checked and,
Kelly,
and,
you
and
guys-
you analyze.
The truth is, you need to be born again. The fact that
See, let me ask. So let's talk emotions. Let's talk emotions right now.
okay, let's talk emotions.
Now, man 40, woman 25. You said 15 should be maximum. Okay, so let's say woman 23, 21, man 40. Emotionally, can there ever be a point where they will be at the same level?
No.
No way. But my guy, you
Oh,
just said
but
age.
you
is-
answer your
But you
question.
are saying age doesn't matter. But I'll come to you.
Is it
Josiah,
my turn now?
Hold on.
So he should answer.
Josiah,
Then it's. Oh.
can it ever be at any point that the emotions and how they see things emotionally can be at par?
Nah, I think the only time that will probably happen would be when disaster happens. So like maybe in death and all of those other things, how you
disaster.
kind of relate to the person, right? Because you know at that moment in time how they need you. You kind of know.
Yeah.
But when it comes to emotions, some things that you know, at your age, you're busy. You wake up in the morning, you go to work, and then a person that young age, she's going, oh, why didn't you call me? Oh, if you love me, you should have text me emojis.
I won't
And then,
marry
you ain't got
you.
time for that.
In the first place, I won't.
You
You
ain't got
can't
time
be
for
my
that.
wife
Do you know what I'm saying?
that
You don't
way.
have time
You
for that.
can't
Is that who
be
has
my
been
wife.
texting you?
Can you imagine? Oh, that kind of woman
Somebody
can't
has
be
been
my
texting
wife
you.
in the first place
man,
because
okay.
you know what she's settling
call
for
me-
before.
call me
You saw,
every
you saw
day.
how he did it.
Yeah,
It's
see,
like he
she's
goes to it every
speaking from
day.
experience. Let us know.
You didn't say good morning. You know, so you should take me out here. You should buy me ice
Is that how
cream.
she
All
does
this-
it?
Yeah, something like that. But you see, so you know, it's like emotionally, this is just
You know
different.
what? Let me just go for this very last break. When I'm back, the phone lines will also be open, so
Oh,
you can as well
gosh.
call and keep sending your text messages. Please stay with us. We'll be back shortly. Come back if you're just joining us. We're still here discussing the issue of age, the gap, and whether it matters, whether age should go blind on relationships. But hey, I have Kelly and Josiah still having this discussion. Well, the phone lines are open. Feel free, call us. Let's hear what you also think about this. The number is 0555 657278. I repeat, 0555 657278. Kelly,
Yes.
so prior to, in fact, before we went for the break, I was going to come to you and I asked Josiah that the issue of emotions, can there ever be a point, irrespective of, or should I say, even with age gap, with that age somewhere, can there ever be a point, or is there ever a point, or does it happen that the emotions can be at par or at the same level?
The emotions can never be the same, especially when a woman is involved.
So this one, you both agree that it can never be the same.
Yes, I don't agree that it's going to be the
It's
same.
40 minutes, and it's the only time I've seen the two of you.
No, it's the second time I've encountered. Yes. But I would say that because if there were two men, of course, we're not talking about that kind of relationship. We're talking about a woman and a man. A woman has changes in the phases of her metamorphosis. That said, there's going to be a time in her cycle of life that she may not be as excited as she might be to do certain things or not do certain things. And don't tell me age. It all has to do with how she has worked on herself over time. That is where the understanding of this man who she's married to comes in to know that, look, my wife may not resonate to so and so at this point. So it's optional for me to sacrificially let go of that part of my life for the existence of the fulfillment of my marriage with her. So emotions are different, but compromise is constant, and it's still the maturity factor.
So it's
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 not
age.
age.
It's age.
It's not age.
It's age.
It's not age.
Because
Kelly, Josiah, I have a caller. Please wait. Good evening, caller. Your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, Nana Kwame, I'm calling from Nangwa.
Hi, Nana Kwame. Please, let's hear you.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Please, let's hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm Nana Kwame calling from Nangwa.
Hi, Nana Kwame. Please go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was flipping channels and I came across. So I was introduced to a 35-year-old woman.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm 26.
You are 26.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, but we started talking, and along the line, all she was interested was in marriage.
Okay.
So
And
with
you
the
are not
age
ready
gap-
for that, correct?
Yeah. With the age gap, which is a 10-year age difference,
Yeah.
one way or the other dog something. So I want to know whether I did the right thing or I should have at least controlled my feelings. towards it.
Okay.
Don't hang up. You did the wrong thing. You don't dog women. You don't. It's a rude thing to dog. Hey.
What you mean? He
Let's
did
tell
the right
man-
thing.
I don't
He did the
want-
right
I mean,
thing.
Dog
No,
a
no,
woman.
no, you-
No,
okay.
you don't dog a woman.
Hold on.
Why don't
It's
you dog a
just-
woman?
what
Why
does
don't you
it
dog a
mean to
woman?
dog a
She
woman?
wants
Define
marriage.
dogging.
No. She
well,
wants
let's just
marriage.
say,
No,
let's
he
just say
doesn't want
left.
it.
He left the
left
relationship.
the woman.
Let's
So-
call what it is.
Semantics.
No, but
Let dog a
it's
woman.
not by
That's
force.
rude, disrespectful, man.
Kelly,
No.
He
No,
probably
he
may have
left
used
her.
the wrong
Eh,
word.
eh,
It's
so
fine.
let's
Okay.
admit
So
that.
I
Let's iron it out.
apologize
Yeah.
on behalf
Uh-huh.
of Nana
So
Kwame
No,
he
no,
left the
I mean, I used the
relationship.
wrong
and
word.
for
That's
all
all.
the women. We are sorry for
admit
using
that
the word
one.
dog.
Yes,
But
he left the
left
relationship
yeah,
for
relationship,
his
yes.
personal reasons.
Yeah. And there's
Now,
nothing wrong with
there's
that.
nothing wrong with that. I just want that tore me
So they
apart.
use the word dog. So let's just say
don't
he,
say it again.
he left the relationship.
Yes, he
All
left the
right, yeah.
relationship. Fine. So he left the relationship, but then that was immature.
Why was that immature?
Wait. So he was wrong by leaving the relationship
Uh-huh.
without defining to the woman what he wanted.
Oh, perhaps
he
perhaps-
just left
I
the
mean,
relationship.
He just shot the
I don't-
shit.
No.
No, Kelly.
Listen,
We don't
I
know
mean, Kelly,
those
we don't know.
back
We
end
don't have the
story,
details on that.
but the
So
most
we
important
cannot-
thing is
we
I
cannot say.
respect him for making the decision, knowing that
I
listen,
don't
I'm
have a
not
problem
ready
with
for
him
marriage.
leaving, no.
I'm not going to be there.
I'm not. I
Kelly,
don't have
until
Remember,
we get,
we are talking about marriage
I
here.
know,
We're
but,
not talking about
but,
relationship.
but until we get the full detail of his situation.
No, I mean, this
we won't
discussion
be
is about
able-
marital situation.
I get that.
Exactly.
And he made the decision that he won't be able to stay to marry, or
Right.
he won't be able to get married, and so he left the relationship.
Okay.
Can we just leave it there?
Okay, fine. Let's leave it there. And
Okay.
so your question is now
Now,
what?
let's talk intimacy. Now, the point where it is assumed or it is thought that the younger one is going to be stronger, the older one is probably weaker. Intimacy.
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm using your word probably. Yes.
Okay. So let me go to Josiah first, and this might even be your last words. I'm not sure, but
That talk well.
that issue of the younger one being stronger, I mean being energetic, talking about intimacy, and then the older one. What's your take on it?
I mean, when it comes to being stronger, you can't argue with facts. The younger one is always going to be stronger than the older one.
What does strength
However,
mean?
experience is what we're talking about. So maybe you older, so you have more experience. you
What
have
if
more
they are
patience,
both virgins?
You will know the woman's body because you've experienced yourself,
Yeah.
right? Now, if you flip it the other way around, an older woman would want a younger guy to light her fire.
Okay.
Right? See, so in that sense, that's why she's with a younger guy.
Bam. Okay.
Whereas
See?
with the older man and the woman, the younger woman wants somebody that will make her feel wanted and appreciated. So the older guy knows how to do that based on of experience, assumption,
Okay.
right? See, so because a 20-year-old myself, there's no way my age should be stronger than a 20-year-old myself.
Okay.
I'm more experienced than him, but there's no way I'm stronger than him. So if you want to use the argument on physicality in age and strength, the younger guy is way much more stronger than the older guy. But when it comes to experience and intimacy, the older guy should be better.
So perhaps I should reframe, even though we don't have enough time. A younger lady, an older man, intimacy.
Yeah, she probably would enjoy it more because, the
Older man, younger lady.
right, she will enjoy it more because the man would be much more patient and loving towards her rather than a younger guy just thinking that he's building a road.
So it's not a problem.
It's not a problem in that sense.
Not in this one. Eh?
Not in that
It
sense.
all
Kelly, your
depends
last-
on. It all depends. Hey, on Instagram, I am at Kelly Daniels' office. Follow right now and send all the questions you can, and I'll answer because we don't have time. On Instagram, just go at Kelly Daniels' office. The only authentic Instagram page of mine is 111,000 followers. So just go at Kelly Daniels' office. Send me your DMs and I'll answer for free. Okay, I'm not charging this week. Right. However, intimacy between either ways. What do we want to achieve together?
You have only
It's
a minute.
not a competition.
Uh-huh.
So we want to achieve mutual fulfillment. It's not about who is faster, who is hotter, who is stronger. It's about what do we want to achieve out of this intercourse, out of this scene. And then we both agree and we deliver on it. And we are both happy.
So you're saying the energy doesn't matter.
The age doesn't matter. The energy doesn't
matter. Irrespective
Mutual
of the
energy
duration
is
of the age.
it.
Well,
NG
this is all what the time could permit us. Thank you very much, Josiah. Thank you very much, Kelly. You spoke the same twice through an hour. Well done. It seldom happens. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for being part of our evening. It's been a great discussion. We'll come your way next week with another exciting one. Please be blessed. Take care of yourselves. The dollar is still rising. Take note of that. See you next week.